Pozdrav svima ljudi, dobro došli vi meni u moj novi video. Uglavnom danas gledamo 3 istinite omegle horror story animirane. Pa bacite jedan veliki like, šerajte ovaj video, subajte se. I to će biti sve za sve mislim ništa. Ovo je moj Instagram, ovo znam, tu će biti na Instagram i like. Idemo s videom.
I'm an avid user of all the social media platforms, as they offer unlimited access to meeting strangers. Some might find this weird, but I can't go on without socializing, be it offline or online. So when my friend Daniel told me about this site, Omegle, I couldn't stop myself from checking it out. I was able to connect with people around the world and listen to their stories and share mine. The only thing I failed to anticipate is that the world is way more complicated than that. It was a rainy Thursday afternoon. I was playing Grand Theft Auto 5 on my PS5. My roommate Nash wasn't home that day, so it was just me in the two-story house amidst a thunderstorm. I yawned big while getting extremely bored and quit the game. Thinking about what I should be doing next, I opted for Omegle to chat with a bunch of strangers.
Opet govorim nije Omegle nego Omegle.
FYI, I already used the site several times before that day, so I was perfectly okay with doing it again. I have done video calling at Omegle before, so I connected to the chat room without much ado. As the site took time to connect me to a stranger, I went to the kitchen to grab something to eat. I came back with a bowl of nachos and a Coke. My eyes didn't go to the screen immediately, as I was busy sorting my desk. All this time, I didn't notice that the chat had been connected, and the stranger on the other side was just watching me doing all these things, quietly. When I sat down on my chair and glanced at my computer screen for the first time, I almost got a heart attack. Two big bulky eyes were stuck to the webcam in a very freaky way. Whoever was on the other side came extremely close to the camera on purpose. Whoa, what the hell? Hi. The eyes went back and I saw a weird looking
Hi, kad ti neko tako kaže, kad izgleda ovako, to je psihopatski.
Man sitting in a blue room. The blue light of that room was so unsettling that one could get a headache just by looking at it. The man kept staring at me, probably waiting for me to answer him back, but I didn't know what to say for a while. Realizing I am making things even more awkward, I promptly replied, Hi, how are you? It was fun to watch you come in and arrange your desk without you knowing I was watching you.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I didn't notice the screen at first. So what's your name? My name is Max. And you are? I'm Anthony. So, where are you from, Anthony? Jacksonville. I was expecting he would ask me the same thing, but he stopped talking and looked behind him. Right at that moment, I heard a muffled sound inside his room. I can't exactly explain the nature of that sound, but it was similar to a low whining. What was that? Nothing, just my pet Lucy. Oh, I see. Don't mind me asking, but why is your room so blue? These lights calm me down. I recently had a bad breakup, so I haven't been feeling myself lately.
Inače ne znam da neki ljudi ne vole kad stopiram, uglavnom moram stopirat. Ajde molim vas, odite na moj Instagram i molim vas da odete na moj Insta i da lijepo napišete mi koji dio rijeke ili područja oko rijeke nekog napuštenog ukletog želite da istražujemo. Evo, ako možete, ako hoćete. Vaša želja.
That's sad to hear. What happened? Well, we were living together for a while, but one morning she just decided to leave me and go back to her ex. Girls are mean, I tell you. I don't think all of them are. Also, you'll get over it. Don't be so... Get over it? Get over it? You can't just get over someone you love with your everything. She is my soulmate. We are supposed to be together. I didn't expect a sudden outburst. Hence, I wasn't ready to react to it either. I just paused, feeling highly embarrassed, and then decided to apologize for making such a sly comment on his matter. I'm sorry. I had no idea. I hope you can forgive me. You're a sweet little boy. Of course. I'll forgive you. Do you have a girlfriend? Well, not yet. I have a crush on a girl in class, but I haven't told her yet. I'm not even sure if she likes me or not. Well, I can give you some tips to win her heart. Really?
Kako?
What should I do then? Follow her wherever she goes. Don't let any other guy come near her. When a guy tried to talk to my girlfriend, I pushed him down the stairs and sent him to the hospital. Problem solved. What? Relax, I'm joking. Or maybe not.
Mislim da ne. What the fuck, bro?
The more I talked to this guy, the more I realized how paranoid he is. He was giving me tips on how to stalk my crush and forcefully proclaim my love for her. I soon realized this dude is a pure nut job. He was just being so creepy that after a point, it started to freak me out. He barely blinked, and every so often, I could hear that muffled whining in his room.
Hey, are you even listening to me?
Yeah, I was just thinking, it's late. Probably I should go offline now. Why? We're having such a good time. Two bros chilling and sharing their girl problems. No, man, I better go. It was nice meeting you. Don't you disconnect. I'm sorry, what?
Don't you dare walk out on me. Do you know what I do to those who walk out on me?
Saying this, he got up from his computer and went to the corner of the room. He switched on the room light, and I noticed his bed. Something was lying on it, covered with a blanket.
Are you ready for the surprise, Max? Here it comes!
Saying this, he pulled the blanket in one go, and what I saw made my stomach drop. A girl was lying on the bed. Her hands and legs were tied, along with her mouth. On top of her lay a dead body that was rotting vigorously. Its flesh was melting and falling off her body. Maggots were slowly crawling from that dead body to her face. It was the most disgusting sight one could witness. She whimpered while bursting into silent tears, and I finally understood the reality behind Anthony's pet, Lucy. The girl was facing the webcam, and I could see her looking at me with anxious eyes, asking for help. But there's no way I could have helped her at that moment. Lucy left me for her ex, even though I loved her with all I had. So now, she is stuck with her ex forever. They are inseparable now. And I'm going to watch the maggots slowly eat her alive.
You're a sick psycho. I'm calling the cops right now. I'll make sure you rot in jail, you freak. You can try. Hope the cops find me. Goodbye, Max. Don't you disconnect. Wait. Have a good night's sleep. No, wait.
The chat got disconnected, and I sat there, speechless, clueless, like a statue. When I finally got my shit together, I called my roommate and told him everything. The next day, we went to the cops and filed a complaint about this guy. But finding one crazy psycho among a sea of humans through Omegle is next to impossible. The cops contacted the police in Jacksonville, but I bet it wasn't his real name. I have no idea if that girl is still alive. Because if she is, Anthony is probably watching her getting eaten by maggots alive.
Fuj. Bro, fujčina, bljak. Priča broj 2.
My name is Jean, and I'm 32. Every day, I remember that night as if it were yesterday. I was 17 years old, and my mom was on vacation. We had returned from the beach a few days earlier, but because of her seniority, my mom still had a week and a half to rest. That day, my mom didn't feel like cooking, so we decided to order food. My 9-year-old cousin was with us, and he insisted all night that he wanted pizza, so we indulged him. While we were choosing between the pizza varieties, I left the Omegle open for my mother to entertain herself. Once we finished ordering, I walked over out of curiosity to see my mother, who was interacting with a young man, no more than 30 years old. The young man had blonde hair, and his brown eyes were shining on the monitor. The moment he saw me, he gave me a big smile and continued talking to my mother.
Is this your daughter? She looks just like you.
I get that all the time. Don't we have the same nose?
Yes, but I wouldn't know whose mother.
Okay, that's enough, Casanova. Time for you to go play video games. I pulled my mom away from the computer and clicked next, but strangely, the guy was still there.
Hey, it was just a joke. You shouldn't scold your mom like that. She was just having a good time.
I can see why my mother had so much fun talking. I didn't know we had a clown in the room.
That's a little harsh, miss. Aren't you getting a little jealous?
Okay, bye. Without waiting for his response, I tried to close the Omegle, but it still didn't react. Somewhat confused, I opened the task manager and deleted the app's window, but it still wouldn't close. At that moment, I realized that the computer was malfunctioning, as the man kept talking to me.
You don't have to be jealous, you know. I like older women, but that doesn't mean I have anything against you. Although,
Fuj,
I
bro.
should wait until you turn
Mislim,
18.
znam da šutim cijelo... Mislim, znam da šutim cijelo vrijeme, ali ono, ovo je fujčina, brate.
Anyway, the show's over, asshole. I'm taking the battery out of the notebook. I'll see you never.
Are you sure your mom would like a pizza with anchovies, honey? You sure? You didn't even bother to ask her.
Shocked, I stopped halfway to
Oi.
closing the notebook. As if the man knew what I was about to ask him, he kept talking.
No, Jean, there's no way your mom knew what pizza you ordered. Nor did she tell me your name or your age. I know all this, and a lot of other things about your mom. Your cousin, and you. Like your address, for example. If you dare to turn off the notebook, you'll get to know me a little better, too.
The man's voice suddenly changed. His relaxed and humorous appearance had become serious and composed.
Bro.
This man seemed to perfectly calculate every word that came out of his mouth. What do you want? How do you know all this? For the first time, I had lost my angry teenage tone, and my voice became shaky and timid. Suddenly, I received an attachment that I innocently opened, knowing that it could have been a virus, but it wasn't. It was a video of my mother entering the house with groceries, unaware that she was being recorded. The recording was over, and I was seeing again the inflexible face of that man
What
who
the
was looking at me
fuck?
as if he was dead.
Evo
I,
zašto
on the other
stvarno...
hand,
Evo zašto stvarno nije dobro Bog te otvara sve te linkove i ta sranja. To je... odvratno.
and had my eyes wide open, still in shock at what I had just seen.
I'm only interested in answering the first question, since at this moment, I only want you to charge the notebook, since it only has 17% of battery life.
What?
Praying the man was wrong, I checked the battery and found, to my horror, that it was true. I felt so overwhelmed that while crying, I just stood up and put the notebook to charge, while my mother watched in astonishment, and my cousin kept asking for pizza. At that moment, I realized that I was facing a hacker, and I was at his mercy.
Now we'll do this, little Jean. Your mom will go get the savings she has hidden in the hole in her bedroom wall. Then, she'll go downstairs and tip it to the pizza boy. She'll go back upstairs, and your cousin will enjoy the most expensive anchovy pizza of his life.
How do I know they'll leave us alone after this?
Girl, you've seen too many movies. Drop the heroin act, and make sure you don't keep the delivery guy waiting. He's got more deliveries to make.
As I turned around to talk to my mom, she already had the money, and with tears in her eyes, she told me she loved me and went downstairs to deliver it. At that moment, a second camera opened to the entrance of the apartment, where we could see that some men grabbed my mother, who, even though she screamed and resisted, could not do anything against the men, who put her in a van and accelerated. As we cried, my cousin and I tried to reason with the man.
Jean, what are those men doing to Auntie?
My mother had all the money. Why are you doing this to us? I swear it was all. My mom wouldn't lie about this.
Don't cry, little Jean. This was never about the money. It's just a big game. And I don't want it anymore. Give me back my aunt. Guys.
What?
I don't think you understand.
Whoa, stop. Zašto? Ok. Uglavnom, ljudi moji, meni je to toliko scary. Zamisli onak da...
This isn't about
Neću više nikad
pizza
naručivati
or
pizzu.
omigu. If it weren't this way, you would have received an Instagram call, WhatsApp, phone call, or even a home visit. I actually have to thank you, because through Omegle, I was able to get to know you better.
I still remember how desperate I was. I tried to call the police, but my phone had no signal. I tried to escape from the house, but we were locked in. I even shouted, but no neighbor approached. It was as if everyone was involved in this. After a few minutes, the man who had silently observed all our desperation spoke again.
Children, it's showtime. Please look at the screen.
Suddenly,
What the
another
fuck?
window opened, and in
Allah.
it was my mother. She was tied to a chair. She was in a dimly red-lit room. Then a masked man rushed up to my mom and violently slit her throat open with a knife. My cousin and I screamed desperately in indescribable pain. It was as if the world had come crashing down on us in just 2 seconds. The camera was
Mother.
replaced with a photo of a vote that read
Mother, daughter, child. Koji psihopat je ovo?
as follows. Mother, 47%. Daughter, 31%. Child, 22%.
Congratulations, little Jean. I want you to know that not everyone turns around a result in such a way, but apparently our sponsors like you so much that they decided they wanted to see you as an orphan. Kids usually lose, especially if the parents are home to witness their punishment. Anyway,
Boy.
it was a good show, one of the best of the week. I wish you kids a good life.
And so, as soon as it started, the nightmare ended. The next night, my aunt came to pick up her son and found out everything that had happened. She started taking care of me from then on, but a few years later, I inherited my mother's share after my grandparents passed away, and I was able to live on my own. As I grew up, I didn't follow in my family's footsteps. I started studying computer security, knowing that someday, somewhere in the deep web, I will find the people who killed my mother.
O jebote, brat.
The internet can be a messed up place for
Znači, ako se ovo je istina, znači, Omegle ću ići nikad. What the fuck?
messed up people.
Hajmo dalje.
A few years ago, there was a real popular craze with this website
Bacite like.
called Omegle.
Ovdje vam je moj
It lets you
Insta.
video
Ovdje
chat
vam je
with
od mog
random
editora
people
Insta.
from around the world. It's pretty crazy. That night, a few friends and I were back at my place,
Gobi.
and we were trying Omegle
I
for the
don't know.
very first time. Steve had told us how he met this girl using Omegle, and they were going on a date that Sunday.
Nije Omegle, nego
She's so
Megle.
cool, you guys. Like, we're basically the same person, and to be honest, he wouldn't shut up about her. Then there was Marco. Marco was shy and calm, the polar opposite of Steve. I wouldn't date someone I met on the internet, but tell us how it goes. Maybe she's cool. Steve seemed offended by that, but he let it slide. Sure, bud. Come on, let's get this started. I got to the website, checked my camera and the microphone. Everything was ready. We spoke to some people. Some of them were cool, some were clearly weird. One good thing about Omegle is that it allows you to skip people, so when something goes wrong, you can always get out of there. And then we met him. We still didn't know his name, but when we started talking to him, we noticed the skip button was grayed out. We could not click it. He introduced himself as Marco, the name of my friend. Hello, my name is Marco. I go to Riverside High, and I'm the president of the chess club. Now, this may sound normal to you, but the scary thing was that it was the perfect description of my friend, Marco.
Marko.
Riverside High School was our school, and Marco was the president of the chess club. To make matters worse, this other
What the
Marco
fuck,
was wearing the
dude?
same shirt as our friend. I looked to the side, and Marco was trembling with fear, his eyes wide open, looking at the screen. What the hell? Is this some sort of prank? Who put you up to this? The guy on the screen, this doppelganger, simply smiled. I told you. You guys, I'm Marco. Who was that guy next to you? Quit messing around. This is Marco. You're some idiot who's pranking us. No, I'm your friend. That's not the real Marco. Come on, Steve, Peter, it's me. He did look identical to Marco. Oh, come on, guys. Shut it off. This is freaking me out. Do not shut this down. Guys, that guy is not me. He's going to hurt you. Okay, enough. I don't know who you are, but this is our friend, and you're not going to mess with us. You're not the real deal, Marco.
What the
Oh,
fuck?
yeah? Then how did I get inside this room? He pulled back and showed us.
The posters of that girl from Queen's Gambit, the chessboards, and the checkered drapes on the window. That was Marco's room. He was at his home. How did you get in my house? Marco was standing up, trembling. He'd gone pale. Because this is my house. I'm calling the cops. I'm calling my parents. Marco got his phone and dialed up his parents, putting them on the speakerphone. Mom, is that you?
Yes? Sweetheart, what's wrong?
Marco froze. How could he explain this? Mom, when's the last time you saw me? Marco had just left home after dinner to come to my place. We lived a few blocks away. His mom's answer chilled us to the bone.
What do you mean, silly? I saw you 2 minutes ago when you went up to your room.
Marco nearly fell on his butt. I looked at the screen, and the imposter was smiling ear to ear. Mom, that's not me. I don't know who it is, but whoever is in the house, it's not me. Please, call the cops.
Don't be silly, honey. I'll come up right now. I needed to talk to you anyway.
No, Mom, please don't. She had hung up. A couple of minutes later, we saw it all unfold. On the screen, the imposter was laughing, but he was very still. A moment later, the door opened behind him, and when Marco's mom approached the imposter, he turned around in his chair. The woman clearly did not recognize him and stepped back, but he stood up and jumped on her, tripping her and sending her to the ground. No, Mom! A moment later, the imposter stood up and looked at the screen. He was covered in blood and holding a knife in his hand. Look at what you did to your mom! Marco was on his knees. He could not stop crying. You just killed your mama.
What the fuck?
The man on the screen began laughing hysterically. And now you're gonna kill your dad and your little sisters. Steve was the only one who snapped everyone out of it. He stood up, went to the back of my computer, and pulled the plug. Let's go! He yelled the order, and we started running down the stairs. My parents asked what was happening, so I told them something bad happened at Marco's place. Please call 911 and tell them to go there immediately. We made it to the street, and we ran to Marco's house. When we got there, it was too late. The door was open, and all the lights were out. When we came into the hallway, there were blood splatters on the wall, and in the living room, there were the bodies of Marco's dad and his 2 little sisters. Marco fell to the floor, shaking and crying. Goddamn bastard! A few moments later, the police showed up and took Marco away. We told them everything that had happened, but they did not believe it. An identical doppelganger? They thought we were crazy. But we all know what we saw. Marco moved in with me, and over time, we bonded. He became a brother to me, and we've moved on with our lives. Except for the fact that they never caught the doppelganger. I know Marco will not rest until he finds out what happened to his family.
Bro. Ljudi moji. Znači, fujčina. Zamisli, Bog te, da će to tako nešto desi u životu. Znači, ono... Bože, sad čujem. Srce mi lupa ovako. Du. Ljudi, nadam se da ste mi uživali u videu. Nadam se da ćete baciti jedan veliki like. Da ćete subscribe-ovat se. Ne znam još šta hoćete. Ostaviti jedan komentarčić. Ovdje je moj Instagram. Ovo je od mog malo sam izašao iz kraja. Ovdje će biti negdje od mog editora. Instagram. Nadam se da ste mi uživali. Nadam se da ćete mi biti zdravi i živi. Hvala Bogu. Najvjerojatnije u idućem videu ćemo ići istraživati neko mjesto, tako da. Nadam se da ćete mi uživati. I pa!